Do more by doing less. With me, Charles Alexander, for small business owners, startups, and busy folks.
Looks like you've been missing a lot of work lately.
I wouldn't say I've been missing it, Bob.
What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
4 quick questions for you. First and foremost, what are the things that other people say that you do really well? Easy enough, right? What are the projects that you really excel at and that you enjoy doing? That's number 2. Number 3, what are you most passionate about? Yep, that's a loaded question. And number 4, what do you love doing the most in your business? The important things that you get so engrossed in that you lose track of time. Why am I asking you these 4 questions? First of all, they're not really mine. I borrowed them from the One Thing written by Gary Keller. Fantastic book. Go borrow it, listen to it, buy it. The point is, if you can answer these 4 questions, then you'll figure out how to do the things that you want to do. Let's take a quick step back and start back with number 1. What are the things that other people say that you do really well? This is important because you're bad at taking compliments. I'm bad at it. Actually, I'm pretty good at it. A lot of people don't want to hear, hey, you look nice today, or I really appreciated the referral you gave me or the presentation that you did. But we need to start taking note of that. I literally just learned from a podcast that I was on. The host was talking about he keeps a compliment journal. He said, I know it sounds silly and it's a little over the top, but if I do that, it does a lot of different things for me. First and foremost, it reinforces the fact that I'm good at certain things. I am bad at taking compliments, and this helps me do that. But more importantly, when I get ready to start my next phase, project, work, it tells me what other people appreciate about what I do. Maybe you don't need a full-on journal, but you have a phone and you're on it 4.5 hours a day. You might as well get some good use out of it. Keep a compliments notes section. Find out what other things that people say that you do well. As for me, for years, I kind of took for granted that I was pretty decent at giving workshops, doing presentations, and I'd get good evaluations, good reviews, but I never really thought twice about it. In fact, you and I are probably a lot alike in the fact that the losses stick with us way more than the wins. The losses being that if somebody told you one thing that went wrong out of, you got one bit of criticism out of the last 100 compliments, you'd focus on that one bit of criticism. Well, we shouldn't do that. Our brains do that for us naturally. Write this stuff down. What are the things that other people say you do really well? Next, what are the projects that you really excel at and enjoy doing? Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. I've never really been a big fan of that because there's always going to be some things you're going to have to do that you don't love. And people take a look at athletes. They're playing a ball game for a living, but there's so much of the professional athlete's life I don't want any part of, and they don't either, whether it's the grueling training, the regiment of keeping up with your health and wellness, dealing with social media. There's aspects of it they don't like doing, and even parts of the game they may not like. But what are the projects that you do really well? For my wife, she is the spreadsheet queen. I can put one together, but nothing makes her happier than getting into lookup tables and charts and graphs, and somewhere there's a V in there. I don't even remember what it is. For you, if you're a coach, do you enjoy the one-on-one aspect and you're really good at doing it? Do you like helping shop out insurance policies because you like finding the little needle in the haystack that's going to be the best coverage for your client? What do you excel at doing and you also enjoy doing? Again, for me, stuff like this. I'm speaking dumbly and blindly into a camera, recording it, and even if I don't have a single listener, this for some reason makes me happy. Now, third, what are you passionate about? And again, there's a such thing called a passion trap. Cal Newport put it really nicely that if you have to if you only think you're going to work on things you're passionate about, every moment of the day you're not passionate about something, you're going to be regretting it. You can develop passion over things that you have become good at. And then if you can find a nice little a sliver of things that you are passionate about that overlap with what you're doing, fantastic. We want to do more of that because most of the time that's going to be the things that people are willing to pay you to do. For me, I love helping people create a shorter work week, not because they shouldn't be gainfully employed, but just so they can do the things they want to do. Or for you, do you love helping people create a retirement and a legacy? Are you passionate about coaching other entrepreneurs so they can grow their business and help their family succeed? It doesn't work everywhere. Are you passionate about flag or fantasy football? That won't help you much. Find the things that you're passionate about. And then fourth, what do you love doing the most in your business that you lose track of time? And let me throw in a disclaimer here. The things that you get so engrossed in and that are important. I get a lot of people that tell me that they can lose track of time on YouTube algorithms, Facebook, and just stuff that doesn't make a hell beans difference to their life. That's not what I'm talking about. A good buddy of mine teaches people how to create endless referrals and have coffee meetings. This dude can stand up and talk about it for 4 hours and it feels like to him 4 minutes. Loves doing it, does it every chance he gets. That's what I'm talking about. What do you get so engrossed in that the time just flies by? These are the 4 things you want to look at. And if you want to consider them like into a Venn diagram, Venn diagram being those big fat circles where it overlaps in the middle, where you've got the things that other people say you do really well. And then you got the projects that you excel at doing. And then you have what you're passionate about. And then what do you lose track of time doing? That centerpiece is what you should be doing the most of in your business, in your life. And you'll see a lot of people come to this way too late. I still work with people in a one-on-one setting. I work with a lot of existing businesses, startups, and a lot of the people that are in startup phase are my age or older. And now they want to get to the things that they're passionate about after they've got locked into a career somewhere else. And it's difficult to get loose of the golden handcuffs. And then they say, I'm passionate about yoga. Okay, well, you're a banker. I guess we can make that transition. It's going to be a long haul. What are some of the other things you're passionate about that you get paid for, that you like doing? And we have the ability now to do this. It is so much easier than, golly, I don't know, when your parents or my parents were trying to do this years ago, or their parents. We live in the day and age of the Jetsons, and it's probably wasted on the most infuriating generation. We have the nicest stuff in the world, and we complain more than anybody ever has, anytime, anywhere, ever. And I'm sure religious scholars or people that study anthropology could give you an earful about it, but it's kind of frustrating. This is not the 19th century. We're not farmers from 200 years ago living in the Dust Bowl. We're not 1940s factory workers. We have the choice to dig deep and get down and do this. Hey, look, and if you don't, and you just like complaining, don't worry about it. That reminds me of like this. For those of you that went to high school, I went to a small high school, and remember we had this guy came in that was 6'5", built like a Mack truck, exciting because we needed a big post player for basketball, and he wouldn't come play for us to save his life. Now, it could be that he just didn't enjoy basketball, but he played after school with us and was great. He wouldn't play with us because he's like, yeah, well, the coach doesn't like me. Well, I didn't grow up here. Well, it's all politics. Turns out, dude was just scared to play. He didn't want to have to get out there and try. You have the ability now to follow these 4 questions to do the things that you want to do. Quick case in point. I was working with this business coach, Amy. She was doing all the things in her business, as well she probably should be. I've been in that boat, still am from time to time. I don't always practice what I preach, but she was doing the client work, and she was micromanaging the stuff that she did outsource to other people, and she would make them check in with her, not just regularly, but once an hour. And then she went to every possible meeting there ever was ever. She would call the meeting, she would go to meetings, she wouldn't turn meetings down. She spent a third of her day in email. I know this because I gave her a spreadsheet and she tracked it, and she was dumbfounded. And by the way, if you ever need to figure out where most of your day is going, it's in email. I can promise you. And if you don't believe that and you're not tracking it, go into your browser history and see how many times in there or what time frame you're in quote unquote Gmail. And then she spent all day in social media because that's where her referrals came from in her mind. After she tracked it, realized that wasn't exactly true either. But creating reels, making posts, just replying to other people, commenting, liking. She's spent all kinds of time on all the committees and all the boards. And if you are part of the community where you live and you're in the chamber and you're in the Rotary and you're bound and determined to be the 20% that take action that give you 80% of the results, great. But is that also helping you in your personal life and your business? Is what you want to do, is what your family needs. She was accepting every pick your brain session, bless her heart. Anytime anybody in town needed a question answered about any aspect of their business whatsoever, whether it's marketing, management, financial. Hey, Amy. Oh, it's so good to see you. Hey, can we go grab coffee sometime? I just love to catch up. And by love to catch up, they wanted to hammer her with some kind of human resources question that she probably wasn't qualified to answer or figure out why their Facebook algorithm wasn't picking up the way they wanted. And then she spent half her day doing internet research and trying to Google everything in her head. And then she was doing nonstop customer service networking. Look, Amy was busy. She's working 60 plus hours a week. She's tired. She's frustrated. She's not doing the things she wants to do. That's why she started doing the coaching business to begin with. Here's where I go in to sound like a humble brag. Well, she worked with me, but look, you can do this on your own. You can work with me. You can work with any coach. We sat down and answered these questions together, and she figured out what are the other things that people say she's good at. What does she like doing, and what is she passionate about? What does she love doing the most that she just loses track of time? Amy is a fantastic speaker. She is a storyteller. She makes complex situations sound easy, and she can break them down. Speaking should be higher on her list. And this doesn't mean she has to go speak in front of 1,500 people at a conference somewhere, just speaking. Referral calls, as silly as that sounds, she likes getting on Zoom calls and one-on-one calls with people that are in her center of influence. And by doing that, she is going out of her way to help them. When she helps them, what she does enjoy doing, and I just said she does too much of, but when she gets focused and there's a purpose, people have this feeling of reciprocation. They feel like they have to refer someone else to her, and she's very good at this. Webinars, and this is different than speaking. Webinars is a little bit like what we're doing right now if you're watching on YouTube or anywhere else. Webinars is where she would do an Instagram live, where she would schedule her zone of genius talk on how to grow your business in 7 easy steps, and people would show up and she would show out, and she enjoyed it. It was very similar to the speaking. And then joint ventures for a couple of reasons, primarily because it got her in front of other people that she would normally speak to. And then joint venture wise, man, she gets to work with other people that are like-minded, which is fun. And an entrepreneur, you can really get down on yourself, and if you don't have other people to work with, you can get lonely. And she is an extrovert. She decided to focus on these 4 things: speaking, referral calls, webinars, joint ventures, which means she cut out a lot of the other work, a lot of the meetings, a lot of spending time on email and social media. This did not fit any of the previous 4 questions. These are not the things that Amy wanted to do. She managed to either eliminate some, batch work some together, because you got to still do some of the grunt work. She delegated a little bit of it, and she now focuses on those 4 areas, and that makes everything else in her business work. She's not just doing what she wants to do, it's making her business grow, and she's happy and she's thriving. If everything in your world seems like it's a priority, then folks, you don't have a priority. You have another freaking to-do list. As for Amy, she's more successful than ever before. As for you, one more quick time. What are the things that other people say you do really well? What are the work projects that you really excel at doing? What are you passionate about? And what do you love doing the most? The things that are important that you so get engrossed in that you lose track of time. Don't take off just yet. I've created a new program just for you, helping overworked entrepreneurs create their very own 4-day work week in 90 days or less. Look, if you'd rather spend more time with family, friends, traveling, exercising, having the time to do what you want instead of, putting out never-ending fires, tackling another to-do list, and checking email at 9 p.m., then go to my website, yourcharlesalexander.com. If you've created the income you want but don't have the time freedom you deserve, then this is for you. And as always, if you don't, an angel may actually lose its wings. True story. Have a great day.